Probably we met in Germany, actually in a tribal gathering. I somehow went to the backstage. This is where we met for the first time. I was a huge fan always, even in those days we were driving for hundreds of kilometers to see you, and I'm sure it was a tribal gathering or rave
city in Munich.
Rave city.
Yes.
Somehow I came back at the backstage. I didn't have many records at the time, and this is when we met for the first time. I remember it was 95 or 96. At the time, the hardcore from Holland was quite popular. It was all these mixed styles, and I was actually listening to your interviews and some mixtapes you've done for, Green Apple, Dance Nation.
Yeah,
you remember that?
God. You remember that?
So listen to this, in Slovenia at the time, there was no electronic scene at all.
No.
You couldn't buy any records because it was still, I think it was 92, 93, something like that. Yeah, and it was, we just went independent. There was no records, no CDs you could buy. And luckily I met a friend who had a satellite. And because he was a bit of a technical freak, he tuned into Green Apple and Dance Nation.
Oh.
And we were sitting there because Dance Nation was broadcasting only from Fridays noon till Sunday midnight. And we were there for the whole weekend, listening, recording. I have all these tapes. At the time, I didn't know what those tracks are. I was searching for those tunes for ages, and this is where I heard for you for the first time.
This is the very first time I'm hearing this. We're going back. When we were broadcasting on Green Apple, we didn't think anyone was listening.
I was listening in Slovenia, I can imagine.
So it's a shock to hear that we actually did reach out to people who was interested in this music. I mean, we were seriously futuristic at this time, based on what we were creating, and it was just great that we reached out to you and you was able to be inspired by that. So that's a shock.
Can you imagine it?
No. A lot of it is production, to be honest, to begin, because first and foremost his name, Umek. It's 4 letters. So what is a Umek? I don't know what a Umek is. Really funny that it's your name. So, but apart from the name aside, every Umek production was fantastic. Really, I could see that he was influenced by a lot of early kind of soul music, funk music, and basically putting new school beats inside this kind of sound, and it was soulful also, and I could feel it based on what he was creating. So yeah, for sure that it was productions first before DJing. The thing is, we know each other's music anyway, so it's like a compliment on both sides for the people in the end, and that's what it's all about. It's what the people get. And the thing is, I've been a fan of Umek for many years also, with his music and his style and his attitude towards playing. There's not many DJs that has his power and his energy and his sound, and he doesn't stop. From record 1 to when he finishes, the energy is still there. I understand it. I like that, and the people love that too. And so today, people got full power from the beginning, from when he started, full power from me, and full power from him when he finished. So the people got 100% from what any DJ can basically create at any festival or any event. It was a perfect scenario today to have actually just 2 DJs play most of the night. So it's great. I love the fact that nobody can really define what techno is. It's just a form of music that exists, of which I basically base most of my life on, what music that I play based on, and it pushes things forward. It's a cutting-edge type of sound, which keeps evolving all the time. We could never grab hold of the sound and go, okay, here's techno music, we're going to commercialise it and then we move on. It's never got to that point. So, and I kind of define it by saying, okay, techno music or real techno is for the boys and house is for the girls. So if we get the boys and the girls together, fine. If I just played straight techno for the boys, then I'm going to have a whole room full of guys, and it's not really a good look, to be honest. So for me, if I make a good balance between the two sounds, and then that's what I feel is good techno and good tech house music, or what we're involved in right now for the future.
Want You, of course. I Want You is I Want You Forever. There was a big tune in 92?
91.
91. It was a huge tune, and I still remember the video playing on MTV. Again, at the time we didn't have a lot of connections to electronic stuff, so video was played a lot on Party Zone on MTV.
That's right.
And it was a huge tune.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was a surprise for me because I was signed to Paul Oakenfold's record label, Techno Records, as a second signing release for his new record label at the time. And I had this concept of a track in my head for a couple of years. So I went into the studio. It took me 2 days to record that track and then put it out straight away, and it hit all the charts, #1 worldwide, Europe-wide. We had a video to it as well, which was made very cheaply because we needed a video, and I ended up on Top of the Pops performing this record as well, and just like, my God, I went from a conceptual idea into like stardom, you know. It was unbelievable to be in this position. But I love the idea that it was all done in complete innocence, and I love the idea that people took it as something which was grew organically in a way how popular that record became, and for someone like Umek to see it as a format of what a DJ's record what you can make from a DJ's point of view, and it to become popular, successful like that, is an amazing journey to take from how it all started. When the original version came out, it was just amazing, and it still is amazing today. And it should never be remixed. And he remixed it, which obviously was just fantastic. So when I heard it again, I just love it. I kind of missed it when it went away, and then he brought it back into the 21st century with a fantastic mix. Wish that was my record. But it was a defining moment, and I felt proud, you know, because it was a great record to begin with. It's a classic, and not only is it a classic, you remixed it, so it's now a future classic again.
It's a cool story behind the Gatex. Anyway, Gatex is definitely my best seller, but I think it's in the old days my studio was quite bad, and I was making this tune, and it actually had beats inside.
Right.
But because the bass was so fat, you know, everything was so tense, then I couldn't mix the bass drum inside, and hi-hats and nothing. Right. And I was standing there like, what should I do, you know? I'm just gonna leave without beats, you know, and suddenly everyone was playing this record, and I was like, wow, you know, like actually it was funny, you know, no beats, no nothing, and whenever I went, I heard it 5 times, you know, in one night, you know, and I was like, whoa, something is happening. And then the remixes came. I did a remix as well, and I didn't like it that much, you know. And I was really happy in 2010 that the equipment got so better, so I can mix it up properly with a proper bass drum, with a bass line and everything, and it's now playable as a drum track, you know, all around the world. I do love to sample. Actually, when I'm making music, there are different periods. Sometimes I don't sample at all for years, and then I'm just sampling. You know, like Midway Latino had a recycled loops label, which was just for sampling and nothing else. You know, but basically those are records that I really love, and there are some riffs inside it. They're just calling to be sampled. You know. And a good riff is a good riff. Doesn't matter whether if it is old, you know, or new. And I don't know. I just love those things to bring it to life again.
The thing is, it's nice to be recognised by what you've done. I mean, I've been doing this style of music for over 22 years. So if we don't get recognised by now, then what? You know, it's just nice to be recognised. It doesn't truly mean anything because, you know, we're working the next week and again the week after that, and we're doing what we love. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as people enjoy what we're doing, it doesn't matter if we're number 1, number 10, number 50. The longer the people still enjoy what we're doing after all these years, after all this time, that's what's important in the end. Like I said, nice to be recognised for it, but it's not truly important now.
Yeah, similar to me. It's of course it's nice to see to be number 1 on Beatport. That means that I'm doing cool music. But for me, the most important thing is to go to studio and just have fun. You know, I still have fun making tracks. I'm making tracks on long flights because I can't sleep on plane. You know, I make tracks in the car. I make tracks in the studio, home. I'm making tracks all the time, and I'm happy. It makes me happy, and we'll do it as long as I will be happy making it. You know, so. Yeah, as always, I have a few tracks coming out. Hopefully, Intake EP is gonna be finished soon. We have this track called Firefight, which is disco techno. I don't know how to call it.
Anarchy.
Yeah, and it's just absolutely amazing tune. I play it all the time, and I think it's one of the best tunes I've done in ages. It was actually finally it found the way to Carl's hands, you know, because it was like going around here, up, and then I was playing it, and I think it finally found a proper home, you know, on Intake Records. And after all these years, I'm gonna have a cool release on your label.
And for me, basically, I've just finished off making a new Carl Cox album. It's the 4th album now that I'm now releasing. It's called All Roads Leads to the Dance Floor, and I played 2 tracks tonight. I don't know if you noticed those, but I've been basically working on the album for the last year and a half and road testing a lot of the music within the embodiment of the music I've been playing from other DJs as well, and it's sitting very well inside of what's going on today with music, and I'm quite happy about the way how the album is sounding. So for me, I'm looking to also do a live elements show with the release of the album for next year. So it's going to be quite a big release. It's going to come out on Intake Digital. It'll be the first time that I've actually got behind my own music on my own record label rather than selling it off to major record labels. And it's going to be interesting times for next year to see how this music, or my style of music gets accepted. Because also I've made drum and bass on the album, I've made dubstep on the album, I've made Latin house on the album, techno, all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So I've done it, I've made it, and I'm playing it, and I'm looking forward to releasing it and hopefully other people to enjoy. Well, I suppose if anyone's going to keep techno safe, it's going to be me and Umek.
Yes.
For sure, because we believe in it, and I've always believed in it, and that's what's got us where we are today. Without that belief, maybe we'd be working in McDonald's or something.